That's super loud. Um, in the chat, I was like, hey, draw a line from yesterday's low all the way down, all the way over, and see where we bounced from. And as you can see on the chart, like we bounced just about perfectly on that dotted line. And then consequent encroachment of the overnight lows, wick, which gave you the Asia low. It's like even a more perfect spot. I think it was within like a quarter of a point. And then we had that nice bounce that kind of broke structure when you go into smaller time frame, right? Nice bounce, ended up breaking structure. And then if you don't take any trades down through here, and you wait for that silver bullet trade, this was the opening candle. Well, 10 minutes into the opening 10 o'clock candle, there's your fair value gap. There's the hit, and it pushed all the way through London highs. So, we had news that dropped us into here, took out London lows, the opening 9:30 candle. We had basically, kind of like a grind down consolidations type of thing. And then we dropped through the true day low, which is the midnight, and then into consequent encroachment, also that structure before the bounce. Back above the 21, and then we hit median right there, that fair value gap. And notice that was the only fair value gap all the way up. I mean, you got a little bitty one right there, but that was the only one that was all the way, that was, during this opening section of the market. So you could have entered, which is where I entered, 151 to I think 36 or to 86. So I was looking right there. I think it was the 2-1 on the silver bullet trade, which worked beautifully. It's pretty quick, easy in and out. And, could have targeted London highs, but I just went for that 2-1 on that trade because I'm in the classroom with a class. Actually, no, not during that time. I actually was open during that time, but I was not monitoring. Things can happen during the day, which I have to leave. So 2-1, let it run. And so this is a strategy I guess I'm going to employ as much as possible. Like I really wanted to take a trade down in here. I got rid of, like, my class gets out of my way. No, I take that back. I did have a class up until 10:35. This is Eastern time. So yeah, that's the reason I can't monitor that trade. That's the reason. I knew I was busy during that time. Yeah, 10:35 is Eastern time. So 9:35 is when the classes end up leaving to go to what we call related arts. But anyways, took that trade. Unfortunately, it was on the practice account, so it doesn't go towards the combine, but it is what it is. So, um, and I'm not comfortable with any of the. I'm not comfortable yet with the funded accounts taking a trade here and there. Like I could have micro traded that and probably been okay, but I haven't. I haven't really been messing with my other accounts while I've been teaching until I find kind of a groove and um, just get into the swing of the year. So from yesterday's open to the high of Asia, I pulled that fib. Got nice inefficiencies right in here for the OTE, in which it looks like we're going to dive into. Um, so get into that here in just a minute. I'm going to look at the ES. Yesterday, on the ES, we had the same thing, right? Drove through the London lows and the midnight. The structure was different. This was definitely the stronger of the two. And ended up taking off. And then, yeah, there was your 10 o'clock candle there. But it didn't give us a push back into that 10 o'clock candle for a trade. So that would have been the only downside to the ES yesterday. Is that the setup? Well, that was a 15-minute. I'm sorry. Go to 5 minutes. There you go. So if you go to the first fair value gap, which would have been right here, it does not push down into it. And then before the move, but you could have jumped in. I like these two candles right here. A lot of pushing away from this level, and then this candle drops in, and then that one kind of not quite engulfs it, but it's a pretty good push in the continuation. So probably could have jumped on board right there. Yeah, structure candle right there. I mean, a structure line right there, just stretched out. We also have one up here. I know these are a little bit older on the ES, but so from here, that would have been one that we could have looked at. And then also this one could have been the target. And it went all the way up through that channel. You can see we're back into that channel. Looks like we're coming on down. It really depends on, we do have news today, but I don't think it's like big news. I think it's just manufacturing, core retail sales. So we could see a little bit of a pop out of it. Right now, we're just giving back everything we gained yesterday. Overnight. The German economic sentiment was pretty positive. And then the pound average earnings was pretty good. I don't know what the Claremont count change is. A number of people claiming unemployment. And that number is significantly higher. So that seems like that would be pretty rough. Yeah, and so I think I've got a sheet too, Chris, that I'll look at as well. Just give you further ideas. I just wasn't around it yesterday, and I knew Toby had been talking about one in the past week or a couple weeks. So that's the reason I was kind of like, "Hey, Toby, maybe you can help him out," because I wasn't around anything where I could. But I've actually got one somewhere. I'm not very good at recording my stuff. It's gonna be a pretty good spot right there for like a little structure line moving through that OTE. That's definitely lower. Remove that one. Man, I know. I wish I was better at it. I don't know why I don't have before. I mean, I guess I know why I do. I overtrade. That's the reason why I don't journal. I overtrade most of the time in journaling. Like I'll take a trade, lose, take a trade, take a trade. You know what I mean? Like, and it'll just be kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and going back through and finding where and why. And I thought that having a journal would help with slowing that down. But in the process of trading, like I just it doesn't keep me, doesn't do anything for my discipline. It may help others. Um, and I know people talk about how important it is, but I just, if I could just ever, like, my distraction right now being in school very much slows me down, keeps me from click, 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 you know, and I think that's super positive for me, having that distraction. So yeah, as far as today, like 7:30, a couple hours from now, which 8:30 Eastern time, a couple hours from now, we'll have some news, but um, see how we react in this area right here with this structure and efficiency. Looks like we're definitely pushing down into it, which means the ES might be looking for lows. I'll take the off. That's this structure line here, though, which coincides with this over here. So I'm just going to stretch that out. I'll take that off. Looks like it's what we're getting to right now. Nice little touch and a bounce away from it. See how it reacts there. It wouldn't surprise me if it came on down here to the lows. Coming back into this descending channel right here, is concern, where we bounced out of it once, we did it again, and we're right back into it. Um, Maybe this will hold up right here. And maybe this structure will be strong enough to kind of give us another bounce from, to get out of that channel and do, a continuation. But I don't think so right now. We could easily come all the way down. So I'm gonna put a sell side liquidity on the bottom of this. Look left for some more structure here. I do kind of like that. I think this is a weekly fair value gap or a monthly. Let's go to the month to find out. Where are we at? Yeah, it was the month. We actually have not come back into that. So longer term, right there, we haven't actually come back down into this inefficiency on the month. And there's a reason why I left it on there. No, it's a 21. So yeah, that red line is the 21. If you ever see a purple line, that'll be my 50. So if you go over to euro, nope, definitely gold. So that's my 50. Purple line is my 50. And I know I've got it on here too. Yeah. But now the red's the 21, blue will be the 8 or the VWAP, and then 50 is the purple. But zooming back out to that monthly, we got a nice structure right there at the top of that inefficiency as well. So this could be, we could see another little down move here in August. Let's go back. Where's the last August? Yeah. So we had a little pop up and then a drop back down. September was also a down candle and then starting to make that move back up. And, this is that nice structure that I like to see. We've dropped down probably into some lows. Consolidation broke up above that structure, left that inefficiency. So now this is that move back into it on a month. So that would be, it's a good indication that longer term, we're probably coming down a little bit further. So maybe September at the end of this month, and then September we kind of wick into here before we have a move up. So just kind of keep a note of that. And we keep looking at that. Got up here, just a full on rejection into that. And then we did not bounce from this inefficiency on the weekly. So looking at the longer term, yeah, we do need that pull back into here. Yeah, that descending channel usually it would be a bullish indication, but man, I don't know. Maybe in the long run, but I think we come down lower. Now, having seen the monthly, we might have a little bounce up, but there's a slight inefficiency between the bottom of this candle and the top of that one. So there's a little bit there, but that we could kind of pop into. But I think overall we get down into that fair value gap. Do the same on the Nasdaq. Like two nice pushes out of this area with that. Well, we got less candles to deal with, but so there's your structural line. But we got an inefficiency that we've actually touched into right there too. Way more messy up there. Way too many lines in there. However, so we've completely cleared out that inefficiency, this inefficiency. So this is the only one that's left, which is right there at the top of that structure, and a little one right there. So two completely different looks with the NQ and the ES. Nice bullish candle on the daily here, but on the ES, we're definitely selling off. Yeah, why not? Why not come back down into here? Yeah. Yeah, all three of them are not really the same. Pretty good little area for the Dow to come into down in here. The ES on the daily, that gets you down into that monthly fair value gap if we continue to drop there. And then the NQ looks honestly to be the stronger of the three. Um, I don't see it coming back and testing this. Sure, Bo. See how it holds around that median. Nope. Let me go back. Oh, there. I think all is right. Yeah. Nice little bounce. It's still holding that structure pretty decent right there. So that's really kind of the battleground. I don't think it'll hold all the way through the morning, but it's going to be something that I watch. Even if we drop down through here and start leveling off, that might be the area where I look for price to rebound into and push through. If I want to be bullish, if not, then the bottom of this candle pushed over. Let's say we just keep kind of dropping into the Monday low, then this candle right here becomes my structure, and that's where I'll look for a continuation into. So I'm not going to leave this on here, but this is the visual. And then if price continues to break down and then come here, this is where if we don't get just a nice continuation push through it, then that might be the look for the next short down in the sell side. bottom of that channel, and then further structure to the south. Yeah. So that's on the ES. NQ, I just don't see it giving up a whole lot more. Um, I think we sink down maybe into the 79 area, but I don't think we come down here. I really don't. Mine was apparently having a pretty decent dream behind me just a second ago. The way he was kind of grunting. But I'm more bullish on the NQ until it shows me it's not going to be today. Like overall, longer term, I think ES, NQ, and everything else is just, well, not everything, but you know what I mean. We'll have downside movement. Um, Shorter term, I think we push until it shows me it's not going to, which will probably be, if we just continue to break down through here. And I don't think that I will look for continuation down until really we just, it just really has to start sinking, and not like flush by any means, but we just struggle to kind of push back up. Then yeah, I'm probably change my bias, and then my structure probably becomes something like this right here. I won't leave that on there, but you know, if we struggle to kind of keep pushing, then this is going to be an area in which I look for to see kind of a continuation back to the downside. A little head and shoulders there on the hourly. We continue to push through that, then obviously, then I will still consider it to be bullish. I mean, from yesterday's action. So I think if we're going to remain bullish today through the news and everything, we need to bounce in this area and then a push through here, breaking the highs, getting up into this mean threshold possibly for today. If we don't do that, then this may become like the consolidation point for a drop into the lows. So, I mean, there's going to be enough room between here and here to take longs, but I definitely wouldn't try and stretch the trades because, we have been sinking in this channel. I have been dropping down into that channel. So, and the dollar Let me raise this up real quick. Yeah. This kind of wedge right here obviously is bullish looking. So I think that we continue to push. Eventually. Really have to see how we react right in here today. We could drop down into that structure, even down into here at the monthly. So again, today could be a down day for the dollar, which should be an up day for the market. And I don't know. It's crazy though that the dollar and the NQ and the ES all have this similar pattern right here. So, which all looks bullish. The dollar being at the peak right now, and then the ES and everything kind of sliding back down to the bottom of those channels. Um, could lead you to believe that if the dollar wants to retest again down here, obviously the markets will go back up, but uh, yeah, depending on news, I think the dollar comes down past the Monday low, maybe even gets into here. Yeah, yeah, good possibility. Because I mean, like I said, it's up here at the top of this wedge, this top of this trend line, and we've rejected down through it. So it's not like this was perfectly placed here. This is on bodies right there, right? And then it's on bodies way up here. So like the fact that body to body, and then it perfectly put it, popped up and closed below it, like it's you know whatever caused it to be rejection right in here could send it down for some of this inefficiency for sure. Yeah. We don't have crazy news this week. Next week, PMI, uh, unemployment claims, durable goods. That's really it. Ooh. So, I mean, the last few weeks of the month of August doesn't look like a whole lot. Overall, if you look at the markets and stuff on the higher time frames like we were, they look bearish. They look like they want to come down some more, especially if you look, when we were looking at the month, they look bearish. So, um, I um, I would consider this to be bullish if we go up to the same monthly. Morning, Kyle. Because wow, look at that. We've gotten all the way down into here on the monthly on a dollar. So yeah, I mean, the dollar does look more bullish than the other markets. So it's a possibility that if we break out of this wedge and head for buy side here, then yeah, the markets could definitely continue that drop into that area, which I do think we come back at least to here. September might be, a smaller month, something like this that just kind of wicks down into it. And then, maybe October we rebound. September bearish, October bullish, September bearish, October bullish. Last 2 years. So maybe if we have another bearish candle into here, that's where we get our bounce from. Yeah. Halloween rally. Just the fact that we've tried to get out of that channel now twice and just been rejected from it. We do have this day gap, this opening day gap that's up here that could eventually have price come into it, but you know, I think we're headed here. We got some areas we got to get through on the NQ if we're going to come back down into here. So again, longer term, and we don't trade these longer term. So, like having a longer term bias, like I'm talking like daily, weekly, monthly type of a bias. I don't think it's not that it's not beneficial, but I don't think it's like super beneficial for scalping in the middle of the day. So the fact that we because this downtrend is more important, yet it's at the top of an uptrend, right? On a higher time frame. Even though we broke structure, we've continued to kind of slide. It's like we've been bearish for a while, yet on the higher time frames we were bullish. So I don't. I think it's just as important. No, let me restate that. I don't think it's as important when you trade the way we trade, you know, daily, and we extract minimal points. 5 on the ES, 10, 20 on the NQ, 10 on the ES, things like that. I don't think it matters that the ES is looking bearish. You can still take bullish trades if the setup, is there. Right here. We hold this structure. It gives us a reason to go long right here. You can easily get 5, 10 points from here to 95. So, and thinking that the market is going to go down in the next month, it doesn't really affect that because we're not trading it longer term like that. I mean, I think it's good to have a sense of where the market is eventually going to be, so you can possibly capitalize on those days that are that give you candles like this. But I think for the most part, like not having just a strict bias as to what the market is going to be doing um, is is better. Yeah, and so you got those London lows a lot like yesterday. But I'm not looking for like a bounce long here. Like I would want to see this get up here and then continue. Like it wouldn't surprise me if there was a range right here until news, which is yeah, still another hour and a half away. 6 more candles. Kyle, I did record this today, so if you need to go back and look at any of it at the beginning, you can. Let's see. Take that off real quick. Right back into that structure, see if it holds, breaks down. Um, but the dollar being weaker at the moment because we're at the top of that channel. I don't know, man. I say that now. Kind of dropped into these lows, double bottom right, swept it a little bit. Looks like this could be heading back up, which means this is going to roll back over, head for these lows here. Yeah. The news is going to have to be bad for the dollar for this to continue to move up. This is just to me not a continuation, right? This area here, obviously a little bit above that, but like if it's just going to continue to grind, then I would expect a drop. I think the pound has been, yeah, the news wasn't great for the pound overnight. And then, like, again, this is just not a continuation of this move and a break above. Just so, even though this looks pretty, fairly bullish as far as the setup goes on a higher time frame, I don't know. I just think the lower time frames completely show a different picture. And I know the higher time frames obviously supposed to have more precedence, right? But look at the wicks above here. Larger, drops and then grinds back up, gives it all back up, grinds back up, gives it up pretty quickly. Yeah, I wouldn't trust too many longs on the forex or trades against the dollar. I'd expect that to break. Yeah, that would be the area where I'd be looking for continuation to the downside. So break that trend line. This is the structure, not necessarily that one, but this one being the structure that I would want to see price just push through. And then that would be the continuation to get into that liquidity there on the euro. Yeah, I'd be pretty confident in that. which does mean more downside in the markets. Should mean more downside in the markets for right now. I think I'm gonna call it right there, guys. Um, oh yeah, good timing. Hey, no problem, man. I'll be here tomorrow. We'll go from there. Appreciate you being here, and I'll try and make sure that I'm actually in my combine this morning, the actual trade combine. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.